They say betrayal cuts deeper than any knife, beyond the sting of words or the ache of broken vows. Some say betrayal doesn't end with silence. In the oldest stories across cultures, betrayal was said to summon something, an echo from the past, a specter of vengeance, a spirit that rises not from death, but from treachery. A shade only summoned by the severing of ties, a silent vow or a solemn oath. They are patient, waiting in the shadows until their moment returns. And then they are unstoppable. Tonight, we'll meet 5 such spirits that can only appear after betrayal. 5. The Pontianak. Pontianak means unfaithful wife or seductress in Malay. In Indonesia, the Pontianak is one of the most feared female ghosts in folklore, said to be born from a child conceived through infidelity. The story goes that a woman who cheats on her husband during pregnancy gives birth to a daughter. But this isn't just any child. She is the Pontianak, a spirit who uses her beauty to lure men into the forest and feast on their flesh. In tales from Riau, Sumatra, and Borneo, the Pontianak is often depicted as the daughter of a local lord who takes lovers on the side. She returns home one day and finds her mother alone. Enraged by the neglect, she calls upon her demonic ancestors to possess her, transforming her into a vengeful spirit. And so the Pontianak was born, forever doomed to wander the earth, preying on the lust of men and punishing those who have betrayed the sanctity of the family bond. Those who encounter the Pontianak in the forest never return. Some say her wails can be heard at night, a chilling reminder of her tragic origins. If you hear her call, do not answer, for it is a trap, a prelude to your demise. Some believe that the Pontianak can only be laid to rest if the person who betrayed her mother is brought to justice, bringing closure to her restless spirit. The Pontianak reminds us that betrayal, especially towards those closest to us, can have dire consequences, echoing through generations to come. Number 4. The Ubume. In the twilight years of Japan's ancient Heian period, a young man fell deeply in love with a woman whose beauty was as radiant as the moon. Her name was Ubum, and their bond was unbreakable, or so he thought. One fateful day, while he was away, Ubume was visited by a demon who offered her immortality in exchange for her soul. Unable to resist the temptation of eternal life, Ubume made a deal with the demon without thinking of her lover who awaited her return. When the man came back, he found Ubume transformed, her skin now as white as snow, her eyes devoid of life. She had become a vengeful spirit, forever bound to the earthly realm and driven by her insatiable desire for revenge against her former lover for leaving her behind. Now known as the Ubum, this spirit wanders the earth, seeking out her former lover to exact her pound of flesh. In some tellings, she appears as a skeletal figure, dragging herself closer to her unsuspecting victim. In others, she manifests as a beautiful woman, using her former allure to lure her target into a false sense of familiarity before revealing her true form. Either way, the upshot is always the same. For those who have betrayed the love of a pure heart, there is no escape from the clutches of the vengeful spirit. No matter how far you run, no matter how long you hide, the icy grip of the Ubum will find you. And when it does, there is no hope for salvation. The spirit will drain the life force from its victim, leaving behind a hollow shell, a puppet to be manipulated by the dark forces that now control it. So if you hear the mournful cries of the Ubum echoing in the wind, heed its warning. For they speak of a love betrayed and a spirit that will stop at nothing to make those who have wronged her pay for their sins. 3. El Silbon, the whistler who betrayed blood. Deep in the mountains of Venezuela, there is a small village where the locals live in constant fear of the night. For as darkness falls, a haunting melody drifts through the hills, a tune that signals the arrival of El Silbon, the ghastly specter of betrayal. This mournful whistle first appeared over 100 years ago when two brothers living on a remote farm were brutally murdered by a group of cattle hands. The motive, a piece of land coveted by the villains. But as they made their escape, a blood-curdling whistle echoed through the valley, a sound so chilling it froze the blood in their veins and turned their bones to ice. And so it was passed down through generations that the restless spirits of the slain brothers had sworn vengeance on those who had betrayed their trust and spilled their blood. Anyone who hears the haunting strains of the whistle is said to be doomed, for it is a harbinger of death, a signal that El Silbun has arrived to claim another soul for his dark army. The ghost is said to appear in various guises, sometimes as a cloaked figure with glowing red eyes, sometimes as a translucent being with skin like stretched parchment. But always it carries with it the smell of decay and the promise of pain. Those who have seen El Silbun speak of an overwhelming sense of dread, a feeling that the very fabric of reality is tearing around them, and that they are being pulled into a vortex of madness and despair. To hear the whistle and survive is considered a rare stroke of luck, though it is said that the memory of the betrayal that unleashed this spectral horror can never truly be erased. And so the people of the village live in fear of the night, hoping that they will never hear the haunting strains of the whistle that heralds the coming of El Silbun, the ghostly embodiment of betrayal. Number 2. The White Lady. The legend of the White Lady is one that echoes across cultures and continents, weaving a tapestry of heartbreak and betrayal that has captured the human imagination for centuries. From the winding roads of England to the sun-drenched streets of Italy, there are countless tales of this ethereal specter who haunts the night, seeking to right the wrongs of her mortal existence. In each telling, the story begins the same way, with a young woman deeply in love with her betrothed. But their idyllic romance is shattered when the man she is to marry betrays her trust, choosing another and breaking his vows of fidelity. Consumed by grief and rage, the woman's spirit is said to rise from the depths of her despair, forever bound to the mortal plane and seeking retribution against her faithless lover. The White Lady appears in many forms, sometimes as a translucent figure in flowing white robes, sometimes as a mournful specter with outstretched arms, eternally searching for her lost love. But no matter what guise she takes, she is always accompanied by a heavy air of sorrow and a sense of foreboding that chills the hearts of all who encounter her. The sight of the White Lady is said to be a bad omen, for it heralds the arrival of death or misfortune for those who have betrayed her. Some say that the only way to escape the curse of the White Lady is to confess one's sins and seek forgiveness for the wrongs they have committed. But this is easier said than done, for the lady is a relentless pursuer, and she will stop at nothing to make those who have wronged her pay for their sins. So beware, for if you see the White Lady gliding through the night, her mournful eyes fixed on you, then you should turn back and pray that she does not catch you in her spectral embrace. 1. The Igbo. From West African lore comes the Igbo, a specter born of betrayal, raised by wrath and sustained by vengeance. The story goes that long ago, there was a powerful tribe untouched by the curse of the Igbo, living under the protection of an ancestral spirit. But one day, a foolish young man named Kobina broke the sacred oath of the tribe, spilling the blood of an innocent and unleashing chaos within the community. When the elders confronted Kobina about his crime, he betrayed the identity of the spirit they revered, tearing their connection to the ancestral realm and exposing them to the dangers of the world. In retaliation, the spirit withdrew its protection, leaving the tribe vulnerable to attacks from rival clans. Consumed by guilt and fear, Kobina pleaded for forgiveness, promising to atone for his sins. But his pleas fell on deaf ears, and soon his cries for mercy were drowned out by the screams of villagers being slaughtered. Horrified by the consequences of his actions, Kobina took his own life, hoping to escape the torment he had caused. But even in death, he was not granted peace. Instead, he became the first victim of the curse, rising from his grave as a vengeful spirit. With the power of the betrayed spirit surging through him, Kobina was transformed into the Igbo, a terrifying specter that preyed on the descendants of the tribe, forcing them to relive the horrors of their ancestors and perpetuating a cycle of violence and despair. And so the curse of the Igbo has continued to haunt the descendants of Kobina's tribe for generations, serving as a reminder of the devastating consequences of betrayal and the unrelenting wrath of a scorned spirit. Some things die when trust is broken. Some things wake up. Which of these vengeful spirits did you find the most fascinating? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more spine-chilling tales and historical hauntings.